It was supposed to be an ordinary morning at Reagan National Airport. Travelers shuffled through the lines, children yawned, and baristas shouted names over the sound of espresso machines. But in a corner of Terminal B, one routine security check would turn into a national lesson on power, prejudice, and silence. A woman, tall, elegant, composed, stepped in a line. Her navy blue suit fit perfectly. Her posture spoke of quiet discipline. Her name was Dr. Maya Richardson. To some, she looked like a CEO. To others, like a woman out of place. And to TSA Supervisor Harold Allen, she looked suspicious. "Ma'am," he barked, his voice slicing through the hum of the crowd. "Step aside for additional screening." Heads turned. Maya's brows knit slightly in confusion. "Is there a problem?" "Routine check," he said, though his eyes said something else. She handed him her passport and federal identification. He squinted at the seal. "Federal Bureau of Investigation? That's cute. I'm on official travel," she replied calmly. Allen chuckled. "Right. And I'm director of the CIA." He motioned for another guard. "Search her bags." Maya's calm didn't break. She'd dealt with this tone before, at boardrooms, briefings, and checkpoints across the country. It always began the same way, disbelief. Allen tore through her briefcase, pulling out a laptop labeled property of the U.S. government. "Fake," he muttered. "I've seen better props on TV." The crowd began to whisper. Someone took out their phone. Someone else started filming. Maya simply folded her hands. Allen smirked. "Let's call the FBI. They'll love this." "You should," Maya replied quietly, "and tell them Deputy Director Richardson is being detained." He laughed out loud. "Deputy Director? That's rich." He turned to a junior officer. "Call in. Let's see how deep this act goes." But Maya only smiled. A small, knowing smile. Because she already knew what was coming. The checkpoint became a stage. Dozens of phones pointed toward one woman surrounded by officers. Allen performed for the cameras. "Look at this," he said, waving a federal badge. "Fake hologram, fake sheep, fake signature." A trainee hesitated. "Sir, this looks real." Allen cut him off. "Son, everything looks real till it isn't." He leaned closer to Maya. "You think that comact's gonna work on me? I see your type all the time. Entitled. Think the rules don't apply." Maya's reply was soft. "Respect should apply." He sneered. "You'll get respect when you earn it." The crowd murmured. A child tugged her mother's sleeve. "Why are they being mean to her?" The mother whispered, "Don't stare, sweetie." Allen lifted her government folder and laughed. "You even forged the deputy director's signature. Unbelievable." Maya glanced at the folder, then back at him. "You're making a mistake." "Oh, I doubt it." He tossed the file on the table. "You'll be in handcuffs soon enough." Maya sighed softly. "You have no idea how soon." Minutes passed. Tension thickened. Phones kept recording. The supervisor ordered her to a holding room. Inside, sterile walls, flickering light. Maya sat quietly while Allen paced like a warden. "You know, for someone pretending to be FBI, you sure picked the wrong airport to play games in," he said. She looked at the clock. 8 minutes, she murmured. "Excuse me." "Until they arrive." Allen frowned. "Who?" Maya's eyes met his. "The people you called. The ones who will teach you what real authority looks like." Her tone wasn't angry. It was almost sad, as if she'd seen this scene too many times before and already knew how it would end. 10 minutes later, the holding room door burst open. 2 TSA officers rushed in, faces pale. "Sir, the FBI's here." Allen grinned smugly. "Perfect. Bring them in." He turned to Maya. "You're about to have a long day, ma'am." The crowd parted like water around ship. Every step Maya took echoed off the walls. Passengers lowered their cameras in shame. Even the child who'd asked her mother earlier watched silently, eyes wide with admiration. Maya reached the boarding gate. Agent Moore caught up, speaking quietly. "Ma'am, we can file an official complaint." She stopped him. "No, that man doesn't need punishment. He needs reflection." He nodded respectfully. "Yes, ma'am." Behind them, Allen stood frozen as 2 airport directors and federal liaisons surrounded him. His hands trembled. "I didn't mean to." One of them cut him off. "Tell that to the millions who just watched the deputy director of the FBI treated like a criminal." But Maya didn't stay to hear it. She walked toward her gate, calm and composed, as security officers saluted quietly in respect. A flight attendant at the counter recognized her and whispered, "Ma'am, we're honored to have you on board." Maya smiled faintly. "The honor is mine." She stepped into the jet bridge, sunlight streaming through the window, her reflection blending with the skyline. Powerful, composed, free. Voiceover calm and deep. When the world doubted her identity, she never raised her voice. She didn't need to. Her truth was louder than their suspicion. Later that evening, news networks replayed the viral clip. TSA supervisor detains deputy FBI director. Video hits 20 million views in 6 hours. Some praised her grace. Others reflected on their own biases. And a few tried to justify the incident. But Maya Richardson didn't watch the coverage. She was already in her office, reviewing a classified report about national security threats. Because dignity doesn't pause for headlines. Her assistant entered quietly. "Ma'am, media is asking for a statement." Maya looked up, eyes calm. "Then give them this. Respect is not given based on color, gender, or clothing. It's earned through character. And character doesn't need validation." The assistant nodded. "That's powerful, ma'am." Maya smiled faintly. Power doesn't come from titles. It comes from knowing who you are, even when the world doesn't. She turned back to her files, the sunlight catching the edge of her badge. The same badge once doubted, now shining in quiet defiance.